Alright, John Oaks here with HANKSTERS Hot Rods out of our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. And today we're going to be going over our newest addition to our inventory, which you see right here beside me, a 1979 Dodge. This is a D150 Lil Red Express pickup truck. Now, for all those of you out there that want to come visit us, take a look at this vehicle or any other cars that we have in our inventory. If you're traveling from out of state, need an airport to go to, the closest major airport is going to be Pittsburgh International Airport for all of you out there. There are smaller ones, but again, that's your biggest one close to us, about 70 miles away from here. So yes, we have our Lil Red Express pickup truck. This is a 79. You can tell the 79 because it's got the quad square headlights here in the front end. That was the change made over from the 78 to the 79. Also, you've got the flat hood here too for the 79. As we come back here, of course, you're going to notice that we've got your gold pinstriping, your gold Lil Red Express decals and so forth on the truck. It does have the Adventurer package on it. It also has your bright drip rail moldings here around the cab here, and all of those are in good shape. Now you can see panel fitment and alignment on here. Again, everything looks good as far as the doors and the cab go. We've got mirrors on both sides too, both on driver and passenger side doors. If we open up, we're going to take a look inside. And on the inside, you can see we've got the all black interior here. A little bit of subtle wood grain trim on the doors and the dash. Now this had the optioned up gauge package also to include the oil gauge on there. And a special steering wheel too as far as the options go for upgrades. It's got the front seat here with the fold down armrest in the center, and again it does have the front seat belts in it there, all of which all looks good on the interior there. As we shut our door, you see it closes up nice, and the next thing we see is the exhaust work on this truck. Again, this is something that really set apart these Lil Red Expresses. You've got the chrome stacks here. You've got the outer skin there on it there too to help protect against any heat from getting burnt. Then it brings us to our bed. You see the wood grain trim along the sides of the bed. All of that looks to be in good shape. The fenders again in good condition and the gold pinstriping. And then you'll also see this truck was optioned up with the chrome 5-slot wheels, 15-inch wheels, and of course you see the Goodyear Eagle GT2 tires on here. As we come around the back now, one more option that this truck was optioned up with, and that is the chrome rear bumper on this truck. Now you see the tailgate here, wood grain trim on the tailgate. Again, the Lil Red Express truck decals back here. We're going to go ahead and just open up our tailgate here just so you can get a look inside the bed here real quick. Okay, so there is the tailgate down, and you can see the wood's in good shape, the slats are in good shape. Now these slats are painted red. A lot of guys elect just to leave them bright or polished up there, but again, those are painted up and they're in all good shape. You can see the bed sides on the inside also all in good shape, and all the hardware is in good shape too. As we close this up, you can go ahead and tether it again. Again, we'll put these in so it doesn't fall down. Because again, on these Lil Red Expresses, you didn't have a latch per se, you just had the chains there to tether it and keep it up there as we have it latched. Taillights are in great shape on this. Again, we're going to come down the passenger side of the vehicle now. We'll take a look at all the same stuff that we did on our way around the other side. Again, the wood grain trim on the side of the bed. The rear fender's in great shape. Again, gold pinstriping, those chrome 5-slot wheels. The dual stacks for the exhaust. And now we come up to our cab side here. We're going to open up this on the passenger side. Just take a brief look inside. Again, the black carpeting, black upholstery on the seats, all in great condition. Even the dash itself, no cracks or anything on the dash. As we close that up, again, this side closes nice. You see our gaps there on the rear and front of the door. The Adventurer 150 tags here on the side of the fenders. And then we'll work our way to the front. Now, around the front here, we already kind of mentioned these headlights. This was a change from the 78. They went to the quad square headlights on the 79. I think that's a nice look for this truck. The grille itself's been polished up and looks really good too. Of course, you got your Dodge emblem on the front there too, and the chrome front bumper to go along with that back one. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look inside, or under the hood I should say. I just need to pull the hood latch so that we can do that. And so you see that the hood latch obviously works there as it pops the hood up. Now we're going to go ahead and get underneath here. And let me just, there we go. Just had to get our secondary latch there. Now what we have inside here, this is the original 360 cubic inch Mopar engine here. The title and everything for the car will read original mile or actual miles on it also. And you can see this one's done up pretty much stock appearing. We've got the factory air cleaner here with the chrome lid on it. The 360 Express decals on top. You've got your air inlet tubes here just as it would have been. Now this has an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor on it with electric choke, but we do retain the stock cast intake manifold as well as the stock cast exhaust manifolds emptying out into those dual exhausts and those dual stacks for the exhaust. All of our heater lines are all hooked up. You've got the stock or factory radiator in here too with shroud. Everything else as it sits here, chrome valve covers, breather, PCV valve. We've got power brakes on this car, and when we see this from the underside, you'll see that it does have disc up front, drums on the rear, and it also has power steering as well. So again, driving this truck, it's going to be a real gem to drive. It's going to be easy to steer and easy to stop too. And with that 360 motor, it's going to make a real nice power plant for you to do some cruising around in. Alright, so we have our 1979 Dodge D150 Lil Red Express truck up on the lift here. We're going to go through what we have underneath here and tell you exactly what is here. That way you see what kind of condition it's in and all the components we've got. So up front, this is your stock suspension for one of these trucks here. Strut rod front suspension, all your bushings on your strut rods are all in good shape. This truck was optioned to have the front sway bar on it, and that it does. Sway bar bushings on the frame and the sway bar end links, those are all in great shape. As far as ball joints on your upper and lower control arms, those are in good condition too. The rubber dust boots are all intact too to help keep that grease in, dirt and debris out. As far as braking on this truck also, we've got disc brakes up front, drum brakes on the rear of the vehicle. So again, it should stop really, really well with those disc brakes up front. Again, as far as the rest of the suspension, all stock stuff, all stock steering components too. So nothing major there to go over. You can see our front cross member, it's in excellent shape, so you can tell it's never been banged on anything. As far as the Driveline, we'll go over that quickly. We do have the 360 cubic inch Mopar engine in here. That is date coded 28 of 79. We've got the Torqueflite 727 automatic transmission. We've got that big drive shaft here going all the way back to the rear, and this is a balanced drive shaft, so again, it's going to keep a lot of that vibration and noise out of the driveline on this vehicle. And then to finish it all off, we do have the Chrysler 9.25 inch rear end back here. This is a POSI unit, and then again, suspension wise, we've got multi-leaf rear suspension back here. Now all of that comes in contact with the road with the wheels and tires that we have on this vehicle. They're all Goodyear Eagle GT2s, I believe, on this, on 15-inch wheels, and the optioned wheels for this truck were the 5-slot chromed wheels that you do see, or you will see, on this vehicle when we do our walk around of it. It does have a full-size spare tire also, all the way in the back, mounted underneath the bed. Again, that's a wood bed. You see that from the outside video also. Stock located fuel tank here. So again, that's all in good shape there. No dents or dings. It's got all the mounting hardware, all the straps. Everything is all anchored up as it should be. And then on these trucks, as we all know, one of the big things was the exhaust system on them that made them unique. Now we do have dual exhausts on this truck. So again, got them all the way from this stock cast exhaust manifolds up here. Got this big crossover pipe here, of course. We do have dual catalytic converters on this, dual mufflers, as you can see here, and then of course those exit out and go straight up those iconic looking side stacks that these trucks had that made them, gave them that look that everybody liked on these. So again, chrome stacks with the protector of covers on them. Outside they look great too, and you see that from our outside video as well. Everything else though, as far as the frame rails and so forth, those look in great condition. Transmission mount looks in great shape. The floors, again, all original floors, no patching, no holes at all on this truck, all in great shape. All the brake lines, all the fuel lines are all run very nicely. Even has the emergency brake all hooked up all the way from the front to the back. So that's really about it here on our truck. Again, everything's pretty much stock appearing underneath here and in great shape. All right, so we're in our 79 Dodge Lil Red Express here. We're going to go ahead and get ready to start this up and take it for a ride. Just couple of things really quick here before we take off. I want you to notice that this does have a sunroof in it, so nice little feature there for you when you're cruising out in the summertime. Open that up, let a little air in. The other thing is, I noticed that the oil pressure gauge, it works, no problem whatsoever. It does take it a little bit of time though for it to bleed back down to zero, so I want you to see that it is at zero right now. And then once we go ahead and take off, we're going to show that again working so that you can see that it does physically move up and down. So we're going to go ahead and start it. I'm going to start from a cold start. I'm not going to touch the gas pedal. We're just going to turn the key. Starts right up for us every time. Now, a couple of things before we take off, because I want to just concentrate on the drive part of it when we get going. Turn signals, they do work. You'll see our turn signal indicator for the left side and for the right side. You will also notice our four-ways work as well on this truck. The blower motor itself, if you listen closely, you can hear the blower motor working. All of our slide controls work as well. And the radio, factory radio, and you can tell that that works also. So radio works. All your turn signals, indicators, the horn, that works also, and your windshield wipers, that works also. So that would be your high speed, that's your low speed, and then off, and they do return back to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. So we're going to put her in gear. Again, it is column shift, that automatic transmission, that Torqueflite 727. So we're going to get ready here to pull out. Luckily, we've got a break in the traffic here. We can get right out today. So as we start off, you can see that the speedometer does work also. We're heading down here. Again, our speed limit on this road is about 50, so we'll get up there. And our odometer right now reads 31,719. So again, we'll just use that as a reference to make sure that that's working when we get back to the shop. In combination with the speedometer, we've got a couple of gauges here to the left of that. We've got our alternator gauge, our temperature gauge, fuel gauge, and the oil pressure gauge. Now that's, to my attention, I believe that the oil pressure gauge was an add-on option for these trucks according to paperwork that I have on it. The oil pressure gauge is reading right now in gear idling, stopped here at our light. We're about 40 pounds of pressure idling, which is really good. The alternator gauge is working. Temperature gauge, we're going to check that here in a little bit because it takes a little while since we started from a cold start for that to start to come up a little bit. Now with our turn signals on, we're going to turn and see if those auto cancel. And they do. So that functions as it should. And then the only other gauge in here to worry about then is the fuel gauge. And it is operational too, reading about 1/4 of a tank of fuel in here right now. Traditionally, if these fuel gauges go bad, they'll either peg way below E or way above the full mark. This one here is reading accurately, so we know that it is functioning correctly. So we're gonna get up here and get going back the other direction. All right, so we're gonna pull out here. We're going back to the shop now, where we'll conclude our video for this, and then we'll go ahead and show you the under the hood shot of the engine running. And then again, I'm not sure where we're gonna place the camera yet for the exhaust, probably beside the vehicle, I would think, but we'll decide that when we get back. Typically we've got rear exit exhaust, but this we have the side stacks on it. So as we drive down the road again, drives nice and straight the whole way down the road. Our temperature gauge is starting to come up, but we'll look at that once we get back to the shop. Again, everything else functioning as it should. So as we always do with our videos, we always want to remind every one of our customers, everybody viewing this, that if you're interested in this vehicle, always go to our main company website and check out our inventory to make sure that this truck is currently available. All of our videos, they always go on YouTube and they stay on there no matter if they're sold or not. So therefore, that's why I say just make sure you give us a call, shoot us an email, do something to get a hold of us and make sure that this is available if this is the one that you're looking at. That way you don't make a trip out here for nothing. You know, we'd love for you to come out, take a look at this and all of our inventory. That way you get to see what we do have here. So we're going to go ahead and pull into our shop here. And then, like I said, we're going to get back here and we will check reverse and we'll shoot the temperature gauge and the odometer now, just so you see that all of that stuff is functioning. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull straight down and we'll put it in reverse and back straight up, because the way we do the rest of our video, we'll pull in and do that. So in reverse, it goes into gear and it does work. So we've got reverse as well as all the forward gears. So as we get to our door here where I need to go back into, we'll pull up to it. And now we can go ahead and take a look at just those last few things. So our temperature gauge, you can see that it did start to come up. Now this is probably a cold-blooded vehicle, takes it a little while to warm up, but it is working. Temperature gauge is working. And the other thing was our odometer. So where I believe we were looking at 31,719 before, we are now at 31,723. So odometer is working as well. So that's going to conclude this portion of the video.